Hey everyone, and welcome to the third part of Terrain Builders. So I've got the building here, black on the outside, blue flooring. So I did that prep before, and obviously, so what we're going to be doing now is dry brushing. The dry brush special, my favorite part. It's easy to do, lots of fun. What am I doing? And not all that difficult, especially if you're new at it. A couple keys though. Brush. I have gray paint on there. You brush it on till almost all of it's gone, and you want to make sure your brush is dry. So if you're painting other stuff, clean out your brush, make sure that it is dry afterwards, or it's going to be a pain to do. So that's again why I put all these edges. Remember the edges from the last video? So I put them on there so I have something to dry brush onto. I'm also going to be catching the edges of the windows, the balcony here. All right. So basically what I just start doing is just go over it. And you just start hitting it. Alright, now I'm just getting the edges of this one particular column here. Alright. This thing is a bit complex to grab onto, but I just get this done up. Just hit the edges. That's all you really want to do. Alright. And it's hard to see, but there we already have a little bit of highlighting going on the edges here. Alright. And that's all you want to do. And you can reload if you need to. Get rid of some extra. Now, because this thing is black, I tried putting gray on it. It just didn't work before. The pigment wasn't strong enough. So I did the black here. You can actually keep a little bit more on and just gently go over things. And it should pick up any... let's hit the windows there. The edging. Make sure you get that. And just, you can go up and down, even the black surface. And any imperfections, any bumps, will get picked up by it. And that way, you get that a little bit of that, texture to your to the side of your building. All right, so you can see there, it already stands out a bit from the black there. So this is where we've done it. You can see it does stand out a bit. I am going to use several other tones of gray, some lighter ones, and then that one you go even lighter on, but we'll get to that in a bit. And so now let's hit up this part here. I always like to pay special attention to the edges, all right? And especially the top here, you really want, that's where a lot of people are going to see your stuff, right? You want the lines to pop, so I always go around them, give them a little extra attention, all right? And then do a little reload, get rid of it here, and then just do the side again, right? And you just go over it a little bit, make sure you hit the edges of the windows here, right? If you want that to pop a bit. Especially, say, around the bottom, right, where light would hit if it's coming from a light source. There you go. So now we've got two sides that have the basics done. It is going to be a rather dark building. That's fine. I like having for me, I like having a dark looking table. It's the dark future, right? Right. So I want these buildings to be a little bit darker. What you can do, I'm just going to have a little bit more paint up here. Maybe lighten them up a bit more. And just go over it. All right. And you can see I've lightened up a bit more. I think I'll probably go for this tone on the rest of the building. And that way I can get it a bit darker. And I'm going to get the edges here too. All right. So what we're going to do here, and I'm going to keep working on the edges. I want to make sure they're, especially at the top there, that everything's kind of been picked out. Just go back and forth real quick. Just like that. Right? Just it back and forth. Reload if you need to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish doing all this, and then we'll get to the blue afterwards. So I don't want to take up all the time just you watching me fiddle with paint on stuff. So I'll be back afterwards. We'll get the gray done, and then I'll show you the next layer of gray we're going to do, and then after that we'll move on to the blue. We'll see you guys in a bit. Alright guys, so I've gotten that first layer of gray on. You can see it actually stands out now. You can see the light on it there. So yeah, that's the first gray. Just gonna give it a general all over, even on the inside there. Alright, so now what we want to move on to next is a lighter gray. And this one we're just going to really kind of hit some of the higher raised edges. This is just for the added lighting effect. You're not going to put it everywhere like you did before. And take care just to hit some of those raised areas, right? So things like the edges here, maybe the doorways, you just want to kind of give it a little something extra to kind of make it look like the light is hitting it from a particular area, or not. If you just want to give everything sort of a raised go, you can do that too. But really, it's really just designed to give it a little pop, just in certain areas where you know light's going to be the thickest. Give your building some depth, right? So I'm just kind of hitting the raised areas here. I don't want to be hitting any of the flat areas, really. It's really actually quite simple to go down, hit the windows again, all right? Just where you know the light will be at its apex on here. And again, we want to go down the edges of the smashed areas as well. Make sure we just hit certain areas. So you want this building to look still rather dark, right? That's what I like about doing Warhammer 40,000 terrain, especially with the Imperial stuff, is I like to make it dark. It's supposed to be a depressing, these oppressive buildings, right? They're still huge, powerful buildings, but still kind of depressing, as in, you know, you got to think about the people that work in them. They're people slave away day after day in these buildings, especially the manufactorums and all that are being fought over just to keep the armies of the Imperium fed, right? Who knows what this type of building, I could make it anything I wanted to, a hab building, some sort of Imperial office somewhere, right? Something important. Who knows? Could be anything I want it to be. All right, that's kind of went with the blue interior. I didn't want it to just be gray on gray. I want a blue interior. That way you can kind of get my imagination run wild when I'm on the battlefield. It can be different things, whatever I want it to be. And that's the fun with making your own buildings. You can kind of have them be whatever you want them to be. So I've gone around the edges there, making sure I'm sort of highlighting edges that I want to kind of show off. That includes the doors here. All right, I want them to kind of sparkle too. Get the edging here. And there we go. So that's just the gray. So now the gray is done. You can see the edges are a bit more highlighted, a bit lighter than the interior flat spaces here. So I'm going to clean off my brush now, let it dry a bit, and we're going to hit up the blues. And yeah. All right. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. All right, everybody, and we are back once more. Now, one of the things I did while I was waiting for things to dry, I actually took an extra step, and I actually highlighted it again. Just did a quick dry brush, but this time I did it with Skull White. Well, what was Skull White? Whatever you want to call it now. And I just went over all the edges again. I actually went over the flat areas as well, and kind of made it punch out a bit more. I was thinking it was probably just a bit too dark for my liking. So now we're going to move on and use a lighter blue on the flooring here, just to give it a bit more of a punch as well. It's rather looking monotone right now. So what I'm going to do, again, same technique, just get a lot of the paint off the brush as much as you possibly can. It's dry brushing. Over brushing is another thing. That's when you have too much paint or you put extra paint on the brush. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over the edges here just a little bit. And then a little bit of the flooring. And you know what? I'm not satisfied with that blue. So what I'm going to do is go to a lighter blue. That should work. The blue is just too close to the blue I already had chosen. So what I'm going to do is get this off the brush. It's right to the left. Got some movies going on in the background there. That's okay. And just do the edges like I did before. I want them to be picked out, right? Alright, and you just go over the edge a bit. And I'm going to do the floor a little bit where the windows are to kind of make it look like the light is, don't know if you can see that. What I've done there is I've actually painted here and here to kind of give it a lighting effect, right? Just a quick dry brush where the windows are, starting deeper, maybe just letting it off a little bit. Kind of gives it that effect that there's actually light coming through, right? And you can actually do the same for the door to the balcony. Just give it a quick run down there. And if you want, a cool thing to do is just follow the lighting that is actually coming through. So there's a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there. And then where the light will be more than, you know, as this one I can kind of light it, do it more. This floor here, I'll do a little bit of there and a bit more on this one as there's more and more light accessible as there's less and less floor as you go up. And there you have it. So we now have all the colors I want on there. So we've done a nice dry brush on the building. We've even done the floors. You can see I've done the edges there. I've also done up. If I do that, I've done in here as well to give that sort of lighting effect. All right. And so that's the building done. That is the outside of the building. Now, the other thing we can add on here, if we want to switch up brushes, which I'm going to do once I clean this one out, is I'm going to put a little graffiti on there. So I'm going to need, where did I put it? I'm going to need my white again. There you go. And I'm going to get rid of the dry brush here, or whatever you want to call it, the large dry brush, tank brush, whatever you want to call it. I'm using some older style brushes here. And I'm going to go for a detail brush. Actually, no. I'll go for a fine detail brush, because I want to be able to put a graffiti on there. Something a little funny maybe, I don't know. Just a little bit of paint there. May have to get some more. That stuff's getting old. Alright, so you kind of put whatever you want on it. Any sort of, you can put pro-imperial, anti-imperial, something funny. I'm going to put the orcs was here. Alright, let's see this. Just orcs was W-U-Z, because orcs can't spell. There. The Orcs was here, right? That's a cool little way of showing that, you know, maybe many races have fought over this planet. Could have been it was attacked by orcs and they were driven off, only to be attacked by something else. Seems to be the luck of the Imperium to be attacked over and over and over again. Well, there we go. So we have a nice building, all done up. We got the floors ready to go. The inside's been done up as well, right? It looks pretty good. And we have a little balcony there, right? So your minions or your soldiers, whatever you want to call them, cultists, what have you, can sit up top there. It doesn't even have to be Warhammer 40,000. I'm using that as an example because that's the game I play mostly. This would also work. You can cover that up as it would be perfect size for things like War Machine and Hordes. It's an old destroyed building sitting out there somewhere. There's nothing really scientific-y to it, right, that would put out of place. You can use it for whatever you want, really. You can even use that for bolt action if you wanted to, as just some old dilapidated building in the middle of some, you know, German city or French city, anything like that. So that's that's that part done. Next is the base. Now, I said in the last video I was going to have the base done this one, but you see, I made a mistake last week when I said I was going to do all those videos of remembering that Friday was Canada Day. Up here in Canada, we celebrate that. And so the whole Friday, the weekend got taken up with family stuff. So I'm going to get on the base this week. We'll have another video. So it's going to be a 4-parter now. Yay! Because I can't tell the dates, apparently. And I'll get that out to you next time. So until next time, we will see you around. Keep rolling those dice, and we'll see you later.